All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of four-laning of key sections of Sri Sant Jnaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg and Sri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg at Pandharpur in Maharashtra today. Prime Minister asked BJP workers to become bridge of faith between party and people. Says BJP is not centred around any family. BJP to contest all seats in upcoming Punjab Assembly elections. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 108 crore 50 lakh mark. NDRF deploys 4 teams in Tamil Nadu following warning of heavy rain by IMD. Punjab government cuts prices of petrol by 10 rupees and diesel by 5 rupees per litre. Indian Coast Guard rescues 7 fishermen from a burning boat off Gujarat coast. 4-day-long Chhath Puja begins today in different parts of the country. Indian table tennis pair of Manika Batra and Archana Kamath clinches women's doubles title in WTT Contender Tournament at Lasko in Slovenia. And in cricket, India out of contention for semi-final berth as New Zealand beat Afghanistan in T20 World Cup. As India created history by administering 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all doctors, nurses, frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festive season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News and will continue till 15th August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. And now coming to our 25th question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English. When did the Santhal uprising take place against the East India Company? Who led the rebellion? I repeat the question. When did the Santhal uprising take place against the East India Company? Who led the rebellion? Listeners can send in their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826546262. I repeat the number 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in.
And now the news in detail. In an effort to facilitate the movement of devotees to Pandharpur, Maharashtra, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone for four-laning of 5 sections of Sri Sant Jnaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg, NH 965, and 3 sections of Sri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg, NH 965G at 3:30 p.m. today through video conferencing. Dedicated walkways for Palki will be constructed on the either sides of these national highways, providing hassle-free and safe passage to devotees. More details from our correspondent.
Pandharpur Wari is an age-old tradition of annual pilgrimage of Maharashtra in which devotees from various parts of the state visit Vithoba temple of Pandharpur by walking on the road for several days and take darshan of the deity on the occasion of Ashadi Ekadashi. Devotees from all the castes and sects participate in this annual pilgrimage and they are called Warkari. Padukas of many saints including Sant Jnaneshwar and Tukaram are carried in palkis on the specific routes to Pandharpur and the yatra culminates on the day of Ashadi Ekadashi in Pandharpur. Another pilgrimage is celebrated during the month of Kartik and it is culminated on Kartiki Ekadashi. Presently, the Warkaris are facing difficulties due to the vehicular traffic on these routes and accidents take place during the pilgrimage. But with the development of Palki Marg and upgraded road projects, the Warkari will be able to walk safely on these routes and travelling to Pandharpur will be safe and comfortable for devotees travelling to Pandharpur in private and public vehicles. Shailesh Patil, AR News, Mumbai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that Bharatiya Janata Party has reached the prime position in the centre as it has always been associated with the common man. Addressing the concluding session of the party national executive in New Delhi last evening, Mr. Modi asked party workers to become the bridge of faith for common man. He said BJP is not centred around any family and its values are Seva, Sankalp and Samarpan. Briefing media after the National Executive Committee meeting, BJP General Secretary and Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav said the Prime Minister told all party workers to work for the betterment of people, saying that the party is moving ahead with the issues related to people.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को सामान्य आदमी के मन के विश्वास का सेतु बनना चाहिए, बिकम ए ब्रिज ऑफ फेथ फॉर कॉमन मैन। और ये उन्होंने पार्टी के इतिहास को रेखांकित करते हुए कहा कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने आज केंद्र में जो अपना स्थान और भूमिका पाया है, उसका बहुत बड़ा कारण है कि पार्टी अपने प्रारंभिक काल से लेकर और अभी तक सामान्य व्यक्ति के साथ हमेशा जुड़ी हुई रहती है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी कोई परिवार आधारित पार्टी नहीं है और इसलिए पार्टी जिन वैल्यूज को लेकर चली है उसमें सेवा, संकल्प और समर्पण से जुड़कर कोई एक परिवार के साथ जुड़कर के नहीं, बल्कि पार्टी की ये जो परंपराएं हैं, इन परंपराओं को आगे बढ़ाते हुए और पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं की कड़ी मेहनत और परिश्रम के कारण हम आगे बढ़े हैं।
Mr. Yadav said election strategy for poll-bound states and the achievements of BJP-ruled state governments were discussed at the National Executive Committee meeting. He said chief ministers and party chiefs of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur gave a detailed report of their achievement. In the last 5 years, Mr. Yadav said BJP will contest all seats in Punjab and party state unit president gave a report on the preparations for the ensuing assembly polls.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 108 crore 50 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 74 crore 19 lakh vaccine doses have been given as the first dose, while over 34 crore 31 lakh doses have been administered as the second dose. As part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the centre has been supporting the states and union territories by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost. National Disaster Management Authority (NDRF) has pre-deployed its 4 teams in Tamil Nadu after the State Commissioner for Revenue Administration's request following the alert issued by IMD regarding the low pressure in the Bay of Bengal. Talking to AIR News, NDRF DG SN Pradhan said that 1 team each has been deployed in Tiruvallur and Chengalpattu district and 2 teams in Madurai district.
The predictions of heavy rains in coastal South Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu has been taken cognizance of by NDRF, and accordingly 4 teams each in Andhra Pradesh and 4 teams in Tamil Nadu have been kept ready, and in Tamil Nadu the deployment also has been done in consultation with the state authorities, and NDRF is ready to tackle any situation as per the developing rains. We hope that the damage will be minimal, but whatever the situation, we are ready for it.
Our Chennai correspondent has filed this report.
With the water levels from the reservoirs around the city reaching the brim, excess water has been released from yesterday afternoon. 15 senior officials of the government have been nominated to monitor relief and rescue work and monitor water levels. State government has announced 1-day holiday for government offices other than essential ones. Chief Minister also appealed to private establishments either to declare a holiday or follow the work from home procedure. The government will conduct medical camps in shelters to avert spurt in any disease. 160 camps are set up in Chennai to shelter people living in low-lying areas. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday spoke to Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and discussed the situation in the wake of heavy rainfall in parts of the state. Mr. Modi assured all possible support from the centre in the rescue and relief work. He prayed for everyone's well-being and safety.
Two-day holiday has been declared for all schools and colleges in Puducherry and Karaikal districts for today and tomorrow due to incessant rains. More details from our correspondent.
In a order, the Joint Director of the Education Department Sivagami said that due to incessant rain, holiday has been declared for 2 days. It is further stated that the reopening of the government and private schools for classes 1 to 8 had also been postponed due to the incessant rains in the Union Territory. Earlier, it was decided to reopen the schools for 1 to 8 classes from today. The district administration of Viluppuram and Kadalur also declared a holiday to the schools and colleges today. Meanwhile, the IMD has predicted that a cyclonic circulation over the Southeast Bay of Bengal is expected to form a low-pressure area near the Tamil Nadu coast on November 9th. The UT administration has been issuing regular weather warnings for all fishermen at sea and advised to return to the shore or to the nearest harbour at the earliest. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
We spoke to IMD DG M. Mohapatra about the formation of low-pressure area in Bay of Bengal and its impact.
There has been fairly widespread rainfall activity over Tamil Nadu and Puducherry area with isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall during past 24 hours. However, rainfall intensity will decrease during the next 48 hours. Again, on 11th, rainfall intensity will increase with widespread activity and heavy to very heavy rainfall at a few places and isolated extremely heavy rainfalls over North Tamil Nadu districts and Puducherry on 11th. This is because of the likely formation of a low pressure area over Southeast Bay of Bengal on 9th and its movement towards North Tamil Nadu coast during subsequent 48 hours. On 11th, the low pressure area, which may become more marked, is expected to lie near North Tamil Nadu coast and hence to increase the rainfall activity.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone of 4-laning of key sections of Sri Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg and Sri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg at Pandharpur in Maharashtra today. Prime Minister asks BJP workers to become bridge of faith between party and people, says BJP is not centred around any family. BJP to contest all seats in upcoming Punjab Assembly elections. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 108 crore 50 lakh mark. NDRF deploys 4 teams in Tamil Nadu following warning of heavy rain by IMD. Punjab government cuts prices of petrol by 10 rupees and diesel by 5 rupees per litre. Indian Coast Guard rescues 7 fishermen from a burning boat off Gujarat coast. 4-day-long Chhath Puja begins today in different parts of the country. Indian table tennis pair of Manika Batra and Archana Kamath clinches women's doubles title in WTT contender tournament at Lasko in Slovenia. And in cricket, India out of contention for semi-final berth as New Zealand beat Afghanistan in T20 World Cup. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Indian Coast Guard has said that its ship Arush, while in patrol close to the National International Maritime Boundary Line, rescued 7 fishermen from a burning boat, Kalash Raj, in coordination with other fishing boats in the area. The boat reportedly caught fire due to fuel leakage from engine exhaust. Ship Arush, under the command of Commandant Ashwini Kumar, arrived with maximum speed at the scene of fire and quickly engaged in firefighting operations. However, due to the rapid spread of fire, the boat could not be salvaged and ultimately sank. The rescued crew, who were exhausted and visibly tired, were taken on board and provided with first aid and initial assistance by the Indian Coast Guard ship. As the ship was on forward area patrol, the ship handed over the rescued fishermen to other fishing boats operating in the vicinity for passage to Okha. The boat is likely to reach Okha tomorrow.
Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi announced to slash prices of petrol by 10 rupees per litre and diesel by 5 rupees per litre from midnight last night. Talking to media persons at Chandigarh after the cabinet meeting, the Chief Minister said the rate of VAT on petrol has been reduced from 27.27% to 15.15% and on diesel from 17.5% to 10.91%. He said with this reduction, Punjab has the lowest petrol rates in the region except the Union Territory of Chandigarh. The 4-day celebrations of Chhath Puja begin today in different parts of the country with the traditional Nahaye Khaye ceremony. Puja will conclude on Thursday morning after paying oblation to the rising sun. Chhath Puja is celebrated to worship the sun god and thank him for supporting life on earth. In Bihar, devotees are observing Nahaye Khaye today. Our Patna correspondent has filed this report.
Devotees started their day with holy bath early this morning in river Ganga and bring some water to their homes to prepare the offerings. They take only one meal a day known as kaddu bhat, cooked only by using the bronze or soil utensils and mango woods over the soil stove. Kharna is tomorrow. On this day, devotees keep fast for whole day and break their fast in the evening on worshipping sun. They offer kheer, puris, fruit in the puja. After taking prasad in the evening, they go on a fast without water for the next 36 hours. Standing in knee-deep water, devotees will pay oblation to the setting sun on Wednesday. Chhath Puja will conclude on Thursday morning after paying oblation to the rising sun. With KK Lal, this is Akash Sinha for AIR News, Patna.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted BJP veteran L.K. Advani on his birthday today. He prayed for Mr. Advani's long and healthy life. He said the nation remains indebted to him for his numerous efforts towards empowering people and enhancing cultural pride. The Prime Minister said he is also widely respected for his scholarly pursuits and rich intellect. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
November 1966 is the death anniversary of a remarkable woman and a freedom fighter, Rameshwari Nehru, popularly known as Mataji. She played a significant role in the awakening of women that left an indelible mark in the history of the women's movement in India. Rameshwari Nehru was married to Brijlal Nehru, who was the nephew of Motilal Nehru.
It was from Anand Bhavan, Prayagraj, that Rameshwari Nehru started her eventful career, which was dedicated to the cause of women and the freedom of the motherland.
Rameshwari Nehru started the first women's journal in Hindi, Stri Darpan, in 1909 from Allahabad. It was through Stri Darpan that she tirelessly espoused the cause of women's rights.
She became an active member of the Women's India Association and All India Women's Conference. She had also started a Nari Niketan to help women rescued from brothel houses.
When the British government appointed the Age of Consent Committee in 1928 to fix the consent for girls, Rameshwari was the only Indian woman member of the committee.
This committee's report formed the groundwork for the Child Marriage Restraint Act. She said,
Swaraj cannot be attained by people whose other halves are stricken by paralysis. The battle of Swaraj has to be fought and won by men and women alike.
Post-independence, she played a significant role in the rehabilitation of the people who had migrated due to the trauma of partition.
In 1955, the Government of India honoured Rameshwari Nehru with Padma Bhushan for her outstanding contributions, especially in the field of rehabilitation of widows, orphans, children and old people.
She also won the Lenin Peace Prize in 1961.
Today we will also talk about the Maridu brothers of Tamil Nadu. Periya Maridu and Chinna Maridu were born to Mokka Palanisamy Devar and his wife Ponnatha, who served as the second king of Sivagangai kingdom.
But their time in the palace was to soon come to an end. While the brothers were in their early 20s, the Nawab of Arcot, along with his East India Company soldiers, killed the queen and the king. The Maridu brothers escaped, but they came back after several years and claimed back the fort after a fierce battle.
More than 50 years before the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, the Maridu Pandya brothers had led a concerted struggle against the oppressive practices of the British. On 16th of June 1801, the brothers issued a proclamation of independence from the Tiruchi fort, calling for people of all castes and communities to unite in their fight against European domination. Their attacks on East India Company were so fierce that EIC sent a huge force and captured the brothers and executed hundreds of their supporters.
On October the 24th, 1801, Periya Maridu and Chinna Maridu were publicly hanged to death at the Tirupattur fort of southern Tamil Nadu. Every one of their fellow rebels, their commanders and servants, their sons and even their young grandsons were hanged alongside them. The total number of persons hanged numbered about 500. With those mass executions, the British East India Company and its allies successfully put an end to a fierce rebellion by the southern kingdoms of India, a revolt that barely finds mention in history textbooks.
Maridu brothers were good in aerodynamics and invented many variants of spears and Valari. They also founded guerrilla war tactics in India during the early stages of colonization. A commemorative postage stamp was released in October 2004 in their honor. Every year, people conduct Maridu Pandya's Guru Puja at the Kalayar Kovil temple in October. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar AIR News ke Sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
With the UN Climate Summit or the Conference of Parties COP26 in Glasgow around, All India Radio brings to you a Ready Reckoner every day. Under the COP26 Explainer series, we will bring for you daily the terms and concepts in use during the conference. Today we will talk about energy efficiency. The word energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. It eliminates energy wastage, reduces greenhouse gases emissions and energy imports, and lowers the cost on a household and economy-wide level. AIR News spoke to Country Director of RTI International India, Shalabh Srivastav, on its implications.
Energy efficiency is the unsung hero of climate fight. In its most basic form, energy efficiency is about reducing energy consumption in the industry, offices, homes, and everywhere else. There are multiple levers, tools, and technologies that can be deployed for it, such as better insulation to optimize cooling and heating, natural lighting, right-sizing equipment, and tariffs to influence consumer behavior. Energy efficiency in buildings is the largest opportunity as they are responsible for about 40% of the global energy consumption and about 1/3 of the greenhouse gas emissions.
President Ramnath Kovind will confer Padma Awards on prominent personalities at a civil investiture ceremony in Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Padma Awards will be conferred for the year 2020 today and for the year 2021 tomorrow.
In table tennis, Indian pair of Manika Batra and Archana Girish Kamath clinched the women's doubles title in the WTT Contender Tournament in Lasko, Slovenia. Playing at the sports hall Trelege yesterday, the Indian duo defeated Puerto Rican team of Milani Diaz and Adrian Diaz in straight sets by 11-3, 11-8, 12-10. In the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, India crashed out of the semi-finals race after New Zealand became the second team in Group 2 to book their spot in the Final Four following an 8-wicket win over Afghanistan yesterday. Pakistan has already entered the semis and India's hope of a semi-final berth was hanging by a thread of result of the New Zealand versus Afghanistan match.
And now let's take a look at the weather update for today. National capital Delhi is expected to have a partly cloudy sky, recorded a minimum temperature of 14, while maximum will be around 29 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. Visakhapatnam and Hyderabad will have a generally cloudy sky. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky as well, with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Thiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Minimum temperature was 25, while maximum will be around 32 degrees Celsius. Guwahati may see fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Become a bridge of faith between party and people, PM asks workers, writes Hindustan Times. The Asian Age also notices the BJP executive meeting along with noticing Uma Bharti skips meeting, goes to Kedarnath temple. The Pioneer headlines, BJP gears up for ballot battle. Pakistan fires at Indian fishing boat, 1 dead. MEA takes serious note, informs the Tribune. The Pioneer reports 10 fresh Zika cases reported in Kanpur. Tally rises to 89, adding surveillance intensified to control disease. Rain batters Chennai, several areas flooded, says the Hindu. Government orders 1 crore doses of Zydus vaccine to take call on use for kids, reports the Indian Express. And finally, if your child is spending a lot of time on social media, it's high time you act. The Pioneer carries a story on a US study that says social media as harmful as narcotics.
Before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. When did the Santhal uprising take place against the East India Company? Who led the rebellion? I repeat the question. When did the Santhal uprising take place against the East India Company? Who led the rebellion? WhatsApp your response on 8826 546262. I repeat the number 8826 546262, or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. Amrit Mahotsav quiz at prasarbharati.gov.in. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Modi to lay foundation stone of 4-laning of key sections of Sri Sanyaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg and Sri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg at Pandharpur in Maharashtra today. Prime Minister asked BJP workers to become a bridge of faith between party and people. Says BJP is not centred around any family. BJP to contest all seats in upcoming Punjab Assembly elections. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 108 crore 50 lakh mark. NDRF deploys 4 teams in Tamil Nadu following warning of heavy rains by IMD. Punjab government cuts prices of petrol by 10 and diesel by 5 rupees per litre. Indian Coast Guard rescues 7 fishermen from a burning boat off Gujarat coast. 4-day-long Chhath Puja begins today in different parts of the country. Indian table tennis pair of Manika Batra and Archana Kamath clinches women's doubles title in WTT contender tournament at Lasko in Slovenia. And in cricket, India out of contention for semi-final berth as New Zealand beat Afghanistan in T20 World Cup. And with that we end the morning news. Have a great day ahead.